Hello, Darklings. I know, I look like the lead star of Night of the Living Dead. Look, I just woke up. I got videos to do. I ain't got time to do my makeup and all that, so you gonna deal with it. Today, we are going to do part 2, the Magpie of the hashtag Season of the Witch 2024, created by the lovely Tony. Her link will be in the description. We are continuing on, and I'm really excited for this week's. This started as a community collaboration created by Rochelle over at Amethyst Ascension. I am going to do part 2 of this prompt right now because I had already laid it all out, processed it, and did the reading. I am just going to show you the cards and my interpretation. And part 2 of it was create a affirmation. And mine is, I am no longer the helpless child. I am divinely protected and loved. I am not unworthy. And you will see why. Sending you love. Okay, so my cards really called me out on this one. It actually continued over from last week's video. So, in this hashtag, so if you haven't seen that, definitely do. I made some breakthroughs with the shadow work I've been doing, like deep shadow work, and the reading really helped. So this one was more of like a tough love reading, like a, hey, you really need to see this in order to complete this work. And I'm a little shocked. I'm a little fascinated, like, wow. I used the Line Strider Tarot along with the Silent Hill Oracle deck I made. I'll explain to you what they mean and why it also made it so much more insightful. But I went ahead and I asked first, what is causing me woes? And we got the World, along with the Angela card from my Silent Hill Oracle deck, and oh my gosh, it couldn't be more appropriate. For those of you who've played the game and know, then you know what kind of trauma and suffering Angela had endured and experienced. And she lived in her own personal hell because of it. She could not get out of her pain-wrapped reality, right? She suffered sexual trauma and abuse and other things, and she just felt like there was no saving her. So I have been working through a lot of like traumas, childhood, and other things, and I've been getting that I really need to pull myself and heal this, integrate all this, or it's going to affect me very much similarly to this character. And when I played the remake, it resonated so heavily with me. I got so emotional with the flame scene, if any of you have played it and know what I mean. Thus started my journey for the shadow work during this time because, well, I need it. I feel like there's things I thought I worked on, fixed, and healed, but I didn't. And if you don't, it will manifest, right, in many different ways, which is actually what Silent Hill is all about. So let's finish up this reading. So for Angela, the meaning of her cards are, or her card is, trauma, sexual trauma, childhood things, product of your environment. And I got that with the World. So what's causing me woes? My outlook on the world, how I see the world from my point of view through my own trauma. And that's heavy. That's pretty heavy, but it's also true. I need to quit fearing the world and things in the world that's holding me back because my inner child's still wounded. Still afraid. Still don't trust. And, Yeah, well, let's move on. I'll show you a bit more, and we'll come back to this. The next questions are coming from Rochelle's For the Love of Spreads Oracle deck, and it was the depression spread. The first question was, how do I get to the root, or what is the root of this energy? And I got 9 of Wands with my Nurse card from the Oracle deck. So this says betrayal, pain from pleasure, excess denial of light, feeling unworthy. And the 9 of Wands is that very like wounded but conquered energy. And I think the symbolism in this deck is quite perfect. You can tell that fox is wounded. You can tell it's a fox. You know, a very close friend of mine, when I was talking to her the other day about certain traumas, God, she's so beautiful and amazing, but she was telling me women often have to fight and use their strength of the mind, their cunning, right? That's a fox, and I mean, you connect the dots. Couldn't be more appropriate. I think what the Oracle card means with this one is that I don't see my own strength. I still somewhere feel unworthy, and that sets me back a lot. I deserve things just as much as anybody else, and I had to analyze why I feel this guilt or shame. And that is because, like I told her, I don't feel like I was strong enough to fight back. I don't feel like I was strong enough to stop what was going on. I felt weak or cowardly. But she reminded me what I told you about the mind, and I realized I was strong because I did use my mind every time to get out of those situations, or even to cope, to keep going. And I'm not going to get into detail, but they were pretty bad situations. So that really got me a bit emotional there. But hey, we're doing amazing work here. We're doing amazing work, and I am healing these wounds I was left with. And with my affirmation, which was a great addition to part 2 of this, I'm going to remind myself every damn day how worthy and beautiful that I am, and how strong I am. The next one was, how do I feel heard? I got the moon, which is usually instinct, intuition. Sometimes it can mean deception. It has a lot to do with your emotion, imagination, things like that. This means a couple of things for me, and I think I knew this, but I feel heard most when I get emotional, right? And I've talked about this with my boys and my partner, because how many of you moms out there have said something over and over and over the nice way, but the minute you get emotional and freak out, everyone wants to listen to you? And I really wish it wasn't the case. I really wish it wasn't the case. But I often have to fight tooth and nail to feel heard. In my life, at work, at my home, everywhere. I feel like I have to, besides with like my best friend, like my girlfriends, I think that's like a mutual understanding among women. I don't know. Comment if I'm wrong or not, ladies, but it's definitely the case for me. And it can be difficult sometimes because I'm in a house full of, boys. And my work field is, heavily dominated kind of by men. But I'm not blaming men here. I'm saying, going back to my worldview there, I always have an uncanny way of relating it to men. On the surface, I don't blame them. I do not feel it's an issue. Besides some things, okay? There's a gray area everywhere. We're not going to go to extremes, but at a subconscious level, somewhere, I think I do. So that's next to be analyzed, and thanks to this reading. And not only that, but in my childhood, sadly, I never felt heard, no matter what I said, what I did. And there was a lot of deception that took place. If you know a lot about traumatized children, you'll know that they deceive to get what they want, because that is it's a survival thing, right? It's the only way that they believe they can get what they need emotionally or, physically. So, yeah, there's that. But I do believe I've worked a lot on that. How do I feel seen? I got the Hanged Man. So this makes sense to me because the Hanged Man, discernment, decisions, sacrifice, growth, letting go of things, discovery. So I feel seen most when people come to me for my discernment, for decision making, which is true. In the household, even at work, a lot of people come to me for, advice, my discernment. Choices aren't made in my home without my say. I'm kind of, the leader. And it makes me feel seen. So it makes me feel good that people come to me for these things. And again, I think that stems back. Certain family members depended on me heavily growing up to be their backbone for their own decisions. They needed my discernment a lot. I felt seen then. I felt like I was important then. That's carried over here into my adulthood. What am I seeing is the next one, and I got the Two of Swords. I'm always seeing the Two of Swords. So many choices, so many paths, and I don't know which one is always right. And sometimes I doubt myself. I doubt my own ability to make the right choices, because some of my choices, well, a lot of them, have come back to bite me in the ass, and I had lost trust in myself there for a while. But I'm gaining that back, that will, and I'm proud of myself for that, because I did a lot of work to do that. And I always didn't feel like I had a choice. I've been in many situations where it ended badly because I didn't see another way out. I had to choose from the lesser evil, so to speak. And it actually just led me down more traumatic roads, and all added to the rest. There's always a choice, and that's something I learned. There's always a choice. Sometimes, because I do believe in fate, sometimes we can't really avoid it, and that's for our own spiritual advancement and development. We need it, in a sense, because without it, there's no moving forward, there's no growth, there's no change or learning. So now I'm a lot more confident in my decision making and in myself. I had to learn to trust myself. Trust issues be so bad you won't even trust yourself. That's crazy. For the next question, how can I focus? I got the Ten of Pentacles, which is really what I've been doing. I've been very much focusing on my family and home life, on my money, my future. And I am in love with my family right now. And my doggy. There's a doggy in that picture. Oh my God. Yes, my doggy helps so much. I mean, he's a therapy companion. Not a pet, a companion. But my family, too, they keep me going. They're the reason I do everything. The reason I get up and go to work, even though I hate my job. They're the reason that I want to invest in the future, that I want to have this main focus of building something for us. So that, This reading's so, like, right on. If you guys seen the other one, you know I got the Three of Swords in that one too. But the last card here, I got the Three of Swords for the message from my higher self. This is, past wounds, depression, disorder, heartbreak, loss, separation. And I drew a card for that too. What's interesting about it, I got the Anima. This card is about seeing what you want to see, seeing what you desire versus what you need. And I think a lot of times I do that. I think we all do. And I think we like to run from it and say, no, it's what I need. I have my shit together. No, we don't. No, we don't, if we're honest. I don't think everybody completely does. And that's okay. It is okay to say, hey, I'm not okay right now. It is okay to say, I am dealing with pain. My heart is broken. And it's okay as well to take that, though, and not rest there and accept it for what it is. And that's probably the hardest part of all of this in shadow work, is acceptance. What happened. Yes, it broke my heart. It caused disorder. It caused depression, which I look at Three of Swords as like a depression card. It caused me to struggle for most of my life, but I don't have to stay here. I go within and I heal it, accept it, and transmute this. And I am going to come out like a freaking phoenix. I truly believe that. And as long as I focus on what I need versus my desires, then I will be happy. Sometimes we want and desire something so badly, we're unhappy unless we get it. But we need to take a step back and realize that our desires are not always what we need. This was so amazing. Thank you so much, Tony, and thank you so much, Rochelle. You guys rock. This has helped me very much so in my shadow work journey this year for this season of The Witch, and I really, really appreciate it. And I appreciate you guys listening and being here with me. Till next week.